Hey, we always live Elvis.
Hey, Memphis Mafia Kid and Teresa, we're hoping that all of you are having a wonderful 4th of July weekend. I know we are. We're just staying at home and gonna,
Chilling.
gonna cook a little stuff on the grill and just kind of chill. But hey, y'all, we had so many, so many comments on the last video of the movie and uh, a lot of questions and comments mixed together. So I may bop around a little bit, but I'm going to try to cover some of it, and this will be the last uh, point of our point of view, or review, or just whatever you want to call it on the movie. But we're going to talk about a few things. First, been asked a lot, and I was surprised, Teresa, you too, because we felt like coming out of the movie that maybe didn't give it maybe a fair shot of or why we had the feelings we've had. But I see we're not the only ones, because there's a whole lot of you out there, and we appreciate y'all sending this, letting us know how y'all felt. There's also a lot of you out there that enjoyed the movie and liked the movie, and that's great. That's what this is about. We can agree to disagree, and everybody sees things different. So I want to say right off the top, I'm very, very, very glad and pleased that the movie is doing so well. And with that, we'll get to other parts. Folks wanted to make it a point that it was from the Colonel's point of view, and kind of the Colonel's story, and we totally understand that. I mean, I knew that going into it. It wasn't that, but it was. If you're gonna do a movie like that, to me, uh, you don't. I mean, it was their movie the way they do it, but to say, to use the name Elvis and make you think, or that's the way it did us, because we've talked about it many times, that hey, this is good, and it wasn't so much about Elvis, the man, the human, had some of the entertainer, but more of his business dealings, and that's fine. I guess maybe, you don't, it wasn't fair, because I'm still ready to see, and would love to have one for the new generation of an Elvis that everybody could just to know as a not only entertainer, but as a person. Things he did, kind of like what we talked about in the first part. Other things people want pop out and send things about views of the movie and stuff. And no, there was some things I wasn't happy about. The way Elvis's mother and father were portrayed, and that's my family. And let me just say this. Hey, I'm sporting my
Farmer Danny.
You're right. And there was a comment even in the movie, that those hillbillies and Memphis Mafia. And you know what? You think about it, I guess you could say, yeah, Elvis was a poor Southern hillbilly. Uh, my whole family. That's they were. But here's the thing. That hillbilly became the biggest entertainer and left an impact on this world that nobody else could ever do. So I guess hillbillies are maybe not so bad after all. And you just it depends on how you judge somebody, but it's just I
Well,
just
you shouldn't anyway.
excuse me, got choked there. But especially for Aunt Gladys to be portrayed like she was, it was just it was hurtful to me, and I Teresa's here and she speaks for herself, and she felt the same way. I take it and look at, people that's watching that maybe didn't grow up and hear the stories like I did, because unfortunately, Aunt Gladys didn't live long enough. I would have loved to, but I've heard the stories to know of what kind of woman she was, and hey, I'm damn proud of that. Like I say, we bop around. Another thing is how do I put this? Certain people being maybe put in the spots that they actually weren't in, and from my whole life, that's always kind of drove me crazy, because anybody that got to be a part of Elvis Presley and got to live any of that, I mean, you just can't imagine. So they have enough. Why try to make it any better? Or, everybody was there, and there was a whole a lot of people. Like I said, yes, I understand it's current law, but if you're gonna, my point is, if you're gonna mention some of the people in Elvis's life, and especially the Memphis Mafia, then to me, it's absolutely unfair to not mention some. I'll tell you one that really upset me was Marty Lacker. Him and his family was and still is like family to us, and some of the things. Let me just say, Marty was there, and along with all the rest, and they were there, whether you particularly like a certain person or you don't, because they wrote a book or they said it makes no difference. I'm sorry. Elvis Presley had them in his life for a reason, along with and I'm not going to harp and poop on the girlfriends and the ladies in his life, but like I said, Elvis had a life, and I would personally, love to see. You're not ever, not in my opinion, nothing's gonna be perfect or to the T, but if we and Elvis, I don't know that he even needs help moving into the next generation, but I would like for generations beyond to know, like I said, that's why we do our videos. That's why Mama Diddy does their videos. That's why a lot of these other people do their videos. To try to show everything about the man, the human, the entertainer. Like I said, Elvis was. He laughed, he cried, he hurt. He was just like every other person. Even though we looked at him as way beyond that. So just wanted to get those feelings off my chest. So go ahead, Teresa.
I talked to our friend Debbie for a while the other day, and we talked, about the movie, and she had some good points telling me things. Sometimes when you talk with someone else who saw the movie and you talk together, you get different views of it. So this is how I see the movie now. Okay, this is how I can accept it. If you've seen it and it's kind of bothering you, maybe it'll help you. Or if you haven't seen it and have not wanted to see it and might see it in this way, my view now is, okay, so the whole movie is Colonel Parker, basically his life flashing before his eyes, the Elvis part of his life before he dies. Because, he's narrating it, and in the beginning, he's hospitalized, and at the end, he dies. Sorry, spoilers. But in that way, okay, I'm sure in the hospital, he's on some kind of medication, so maybe that's the over-the-top carny stuff. Some of the over-the-top stuff in it, maybe it's just because his mind and his memory is remembering the way he wants to, or the way he would like for it to have been. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's a fair shot, and I understand it, and you're exactly right, from all the comments and phone calls and everything we've had, in the last week, you see it different ways. And
it should have been named Colonel Parker's Elvis.
You just took the words out of my mouth. That's kind of what I was trying to say, and I mean, I'm not saying that Colonel what he was great in what he did at the beginning and carried and got Elvis, but that's another thing. I mean, I'm sorry, I've got to argue the point. Yes, Colonel did great things for Elvis in the beginning of the movie, but Colonel did not make Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Elvis
But to himself
Presley
he did.
was Elvis Presley.
To Parker,
Now,
it
the
seems
Colonel,
like
as
he
far
did.
as promotions, yes, he was damn brilliant and knew that business and carried Elvis further and faster than he may have. But Elvis was, I'm sorry, destined to be Elvis Presley. We'll only have one Elvis Presley in our life, and that's kind of what I'm saying. I want the Elvis family, those that's been around a long time. I've seen, I got your comments. I've talked to you on the phone, and I knew exactly where we all were. We're on the same page. But let me move on to another, because I'm sorry y'all for just rambling. It's just thoughts just rumbling through my through my little brain. Teresa, I don't need no comments.
I don't need to comment.
The movie, based, if I look at it like that, was a good movie. However, like I said, when you use Elvis and you didn't really put in that, like Teresa said, it could have been named the Colonel and Elvis's, or how Colonel saw Elvis, or the Colonel and Elvis's relationship.
Pretty much how it. That's
then
maybe
you
why they didn't.
went in right and
That may be why they didn't talk about the generosity, because the Colonel probably saw that as wasting his money, or wasting it instead of being generous, and maybe that's why
the
it
Colonel
seemed
had a
that
right
way.
to see a way. But
Yeah.
I guess my point, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but what I want to see, and what I have heard my whole life, and going through and being friends and talking to my Elvis family, is the closest thing they can get of a movie of Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Being the human Elvis, the father Elvis, the husband Elvis, the boyfriend Elvis, to the end Elvis, and Elvis with his group, that group of family that loved him and that he loved. I mean, that's just me. Like I said, I'm going to jump back, and I'm getting all these from comments I thrown in. What I thought, Austin Butler, let me just say this. I think Austin Butler did a damn good job, as I thought Kurt Russell and some other ones did.
Oh, yeah.
Let me say this though. Along with them, Austin to me was really put in one hell of a spot, I would say, because it was against him from the beginning. When I say that, I don't think he Austin or anybody else that plays Elvis isn't ever going to get a fair shot. And that's from the majority of us. Not all of us, but the majority of us. We know our Elvis. We have our Elvis, and we love our Elvis. So I don't think we're fair on that part of it. So I got to tip my hat to Austin, and
He did a good job.
yes, I thought he did. And I'm not saying y'all, like I said, before we finish and get out of here on this, please, if you hadn't seen the movie, go see it.
If you want to.
And please, don't ever be afraid to let go of your true feelings and how you feel. No matter what other people say, no matter what they like. Because I'm going to be honest. I love each and every one of y'all, but I don't expect anybody to agree with me, just like I may not agree with you, and I really don't give a damn about that part of it. We all have
Our opinion.
opinions, and
everything.
and everybody's opinion, is right
To them.
to them, and that's all that matters. And that's why, let me just try to ease out here and finish with the greatest thing to me that there is that we have the chance and the opportunity to be able to throw our comments out there, to throw our views out there, and all for one man. Yeah. And you know, just to think that one man impacted and did what he did in this world, just, and I'm going to end it like this. I've said it many times, and I thank God that I got to be a part of something to me that's been the greatest thing in my life. And y'all, hey, with that, hey, look, I do, before we get out of here, Teresa, you got something?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to our friend Vinny. He broke his foot, and we're thinking about you and hope you get better soon, and take your time and heal it right. And we have a few friends who have COVID right now, so
yes,
we've got y'all in our prayers too.
Yes, and to all y'all, and hey, y'all may not know what I'm talking about, but Vinny does. Hey, Vinny, come on over, Vinny. Get you take care of something when your foot gets better. Hey, love you, Vinny. Love all of you, and like I said, just see how my brain works? Want to appreciate each and every one of you. We just broke over 25,000 subscribers.
Yes, awesome.
We're tickled to death about that. Moving on. Hey, like I said, as y'all loving it, I'm loving it. And I will say this, I did have a lot of comments of asking me about, I had mentioned about the folks that was at the gate, stayed at the gate, worked jobs, but made Elvis their life, and they're wanting to know more about them. And we mentioned one of them. Mm-hmm. That we talked to on the phone, Debbie Brown, Tom Kirby, Shirley Connell, Buttons, and I know I'm leaving a lot of you out, but we're going to eat. I'm going to sit down and have a story about each and every Travis. So many of y'all that actually made your life of just following and even at times beating Elvis and his group to where they were going to go. So we're going to get into some of those in the videos. Hey, send in some more questions. And, let's keep living Elvis, because you know why? We always live Elvis.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for watching this episode of the Memphis Mafia Kid. Please subscribe and hit that like button. Got an Elvis or MMK-related question? Post it under the comments, and we may answer it in a future video. And don't forget to check out Mom and Daddy's channel, EFM Elvis Fans Matter.